For over 75 years, Pluto was known as the ninth planet of our solar system, a tiny, icy world drifting quietly at the edge of everything. Discovered in 1930 by a young astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh, Pluto instantly captured the imagination of people around the world. It was mysterious, distant, and unlike anything we had ever seen. For generations of students, it was the little planet that could, proof that even something small could still matter in the vastness of space. But in 2006, everything changed. The International Astronomical Union, the official organization responsible for naming and classifying celestial bodies, voted to reclassify Pluto as a dwarf planet. Overnight, the solar system lost its ninth planet, and millions of people felt like a piece of their childhood was taken away. The decision caused outrage, confusion, and even sadness. How could scientists just erase a planet? But the truth is, Pluto's demotion wasn't sudden. It was the result of decades of debate, discovery, and new understanding of our universe. So why did Pluto lose its status? Let's break down the 10 biggest reasons and see why Pluto is still one of the most fascinating worlds we've ever found. Reason number 1. Pluto is just too small. When you imagine a planet, you probably picture something massive like Earth or Jupiter or even Mars. But Pluto is tiny. It's only about 1,476 miles, 2,377 kilometers, across, less than half the width of the United States. To put that into perspective, Earth's moon is actually larger than Pluto. That means if Pluto and our moon were side by side, the moon would completely overshadow it. Because Pluto is so small, its gravity is extremely weak. It doesn't have enough pull to hold a thick atmosphere or to clear its orbit of other objects, a key requirement for full-fledged planets. In space, size equals power, and Pluto simply doesn't have enough of it. Reason number 2. Pluto's orbit is extremely weird. Most planets follow nearly circular orbits around the Sun, traveling smoothly along the same flat plane. But Pluto? It does its own thing. Its orbit is stretched out, tilted, and completely out of sync with the others. Sometimes it even crosses inside Neptune's path, meaning that for about 20 years, Pluto was technically closer to the Sun than Neptune was. From 1979 to 1999, Pluto was actually the 8th planet. That strange orbit has always been a red flag for astronomers. It suggested that Pluto might not be a true planet at all, but rather part of a much larger population of icy objects orbiting far beyond Neptune. Reason number 3. Pluto's orbit is tilted. Not only is its orbit stretched, but it's tilted by 17 degrees compared to the flat plane that most planets share, known as the ecliptic. Imagine the planet circling the Sun on a perfectly flat disk. Now tilt Pluto's orbit like a ramp cutting across that disk. It's completely out of alignment with the others. This tilt is one of the biggest signs that Pluto formed in a different region of the solar system and was later pulled into its current orbit. Reason number 4. Pluto lives in the Kuiper Belt. Beyond Neptune lies a vast, icy region known as the Kuiper Belt, a cosmic graveyard filled with frozen remnants from the solar system's formation. It's like a second asteroid belt, but made of ice, rock, and frozen gases. And Pluto lives right in the middle of it. For decades, we thought Pluto was unique, a lone wanderer. But as telescopes improved, scientists began discovering thousands of other icy objects just like it. That realization changed everything. Pluto wasn't the oddball ninth planet at the edge. It was simply one of many small icy worlds orbiting in the Kuiper Belt. Reason number 5. Pluto isn't even the biggest one. For 75 years, Pluto was considered special, until 2005, when astronomers discovered a new world, Eris. Eris turned out to be nearly the same size as Pluto, and for a while, some thought it might even be larger. That discovery forced scientists to ask an uncomfortable question. If Pluto counts as a planet, shouldn't Eris count too? And if Eris does, then what about the dozens of other large Kuiper Belt objects waiting to be discovered? Suddenly, the idea of a 9-planet solar system didn't make sense anymore. If Pluto stayed, we could be looking at 20, 30, even 100 planets in the future. That pushed astronomers to rethink what the word planet really means. Reason number 6. The definition of a planet changed. In August 2006, the International Astronomical Union met in Prague to settle the debate once and for all. They voted on a new official definition of the word planet. According to that definition, a planet must meet 3 key requirements. It must orbit the sun. It must be round due to its own gravity. It must have cleared its orbit, meaning it must dominate its neighborhood and sweep away other objects nearby. Pluto passes the first 2 tests, but fails the third. Its orbit is cluttered with other icy bodies, and it doesn't have enough gravitational strength to clear them out. That's why Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet. Reason number 7. Pluto's gravity is too weak. On Earth, gravity keeps our atmosphere in place and holds everything together. But on Pluto, gravity is so weak that if you weighed 100 pounds here, you'd weigh only about 6 pounds there. That weak pull means Pluto can't shape its environment the way a real planet can. It can't fling nearby objects away or capture them into stable orbits. It's more like a small boat caught in a sea of floating ice. Reason number 8. Pluto joined a new category. When Pluto was demoted, it didn't lose its identity. It gained a new one. The IEU introduced the term dwarf planet for objects that orbit the sun, are round, but haven't cleared their neighborhoods. Other members of this category include Eris, Haumea, and Make. So while Pluto lost its spot as the 9th planet, it became the most famous dwarf planet in the solar system, the leader of a whole new class of worlds. Reason number 9. The debate still rages on. Even after nearly 2 decades, many scientists and countless members of the public still disagree with Pluto's demotion. Some argue that the IAU's definition is flawed. After all, if Pluto were located where Earth is, it would easily clear its orbit. Others say that the term clearing the neighborhood is vague and depends too much on where an object is located. NASA's New Horizons team, the group that sent a spacecraft to Pluto in 2015, is among those who believe Pluto should still be considered a planet. They argue that its geology, atmosphere, and active surface make it far more complex than a mere dwarf planet. Reason number 10. Pluto is still one of the most fascinating worlds ever discovered. When NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto in July 2015, it changed everything we thought we knew. For the first time, we saw Pluto up close, and it was stunning. It wasn't a dead, frozen rock. It was alive with activity. Towering mountains made of solid ice. Vast plains of frozen nitrogen. A paper-thin atmosphere that glows faintly as sunlight scatters through it. And at its heart, literally, a massive heart-shaped region called Tombaugh Regio, named after its discoverer. That image of Pluto's icy heart became a symbol around the world, a reminder that even small, overlooked things can still be beautiful and important. Since then, scientists have continued to study data from New Horizons, revealing that Pluto's surface changes over time, its atmosphere expands and contracts, and its icy mountains may even hide an underground ocean. In other words, Pluto isn't just a frozen relic, it's a dynamic, evolving world. So yes, Pluto may no longer appear on classroom posters, but it hasn't lost its place in our hearts. Science evolves, definitions change, and as we learn more about the universe, sometimes old ideas have to be rewritten. But Pluto's story reminds us that exploration never ends, and that sometimes what we lose in labels we gain in understanding. So what do you think? Should Pluto still count as a planet? Or is it better off as the king of the dwarf planets, the tiny world that proved even the smallest objects can capture the imagination of the entire world?